Alright, here in Ready or Not, showcasing a couple things. I'm going to start with some mods, and then maybe some, if we want to, maybe some tips and tricks. I see a lot of people playing just vanilla, and mods can really help out. So there's some cool mods. So we kind of categorize these in a couple different areas. Some outfit or character mods, some gun mods, some like general gameplay improvement mods, and then of course AI mods. AI mods is I think the hardest one to get right, because if you get an outfit or a gun, the gun either works or doesn't, right? With AI, there's a lot of AI mods out. But let's start with general gameplay. So one thing, there's about 5 different mods for general gameplay that I recommend. One is Gunfighter, which has gone through numerous iterations over the years after pre 1.0, post 1.0, post DLC 1 and 2, and patches. But current version is Gunfighter 4, I believe. And so Gunfighter has a couple different things. It has the basic version of it, which kind of changes if you look at my gun. I have to show a before and after picture, but it's kind of like tilted in just a tiny bit, and then it's a lower sight picture. And then when yelling,
hands up now!
There's no yelling animation. Like my gun doesn't just change animation just because I'm yelling. Also, I've done other things. I'll get specifics on that in just a second. Then certainly Gunfighter. The other one's going to be the in-game menu mod and the simple blueprint loader. So in-game, I'm like wherever I am. Like a lot of people will go back here to the changing room and go over here. You can do it here, but I'm going to do it back where everyone else does it.
Officer Bewley, report to staff training.
In the locker
Officer
room.
Bewley, report to staff training.
And go back over here, and wherever they do it, you can do it here, you can do it back here. That's where they change all their stuff, but you don't have to do it there. You can really do it anywhere. And I have the simple menu mod and blueprint loader, and it just brings up this. It is so nice to be able to, one, look through the options and then look through settings. So the simple mod menu has a default key. By default it's M. You can change that, and you can change a couple settings in there. And then you can change how the level selectors look. It's also of course logged. So I also have the player limit editor, because I host a lot of multiplayer. I have the player limit set at 16. Let's continue. I'll go back to Tappy, and it has a list of the major gameplay related mods that are added, and you can toggle these on or off. So simple mod menu is basically a loader for every other mod, and the blueprint mod kind of does the same thing. So we got player limit editor, which is great multiplayer. Tappy, which is kind of a critical one. What Tappy does is, and I don't know why this is not built in the game, but Tappy allows you to tap or squeeze someone on the back of the shoulder or on their leg, like you would do in real life in CQB. We're clearing a house, right? We got the people, we're ready to go, tap, and there's a audible sound. The camera mod basically allows you to float around in camera view. So if I take that away.
Officer Mendez, please call switchboard. Officer Mendez, please call switchboard.
I think it's 11? Nope, not that. I have to remember what button that is. Camera mod. Oh, F2. Okay. Hey, there we go. We can go up to the debug camera. I can like float around all over the place. I can go up to the ceiling and do all kinds of stuff and see weird angles and go floating around. Zoom around this guy, come back over here. But it's really good for like taking pictures, right? So I can see my character, see what he's wearing, full 360 view, right? If I hit my gun down, I can see that, right? I can actually move, kind of. I can turn, I can look. You can kind of see like what I'm wearing. And actually, does it match? I'd have to look in the menu. And then this is an MK18 modded gun, but we'll get into guns later. Alright, so if I hit F2 again, and then I'm back to my camera. Okay. That's one. That's definitely one that's more photo related and things, but it's a nice one to have. Custom weapon loader was continuing the list. Is if you want to have any kind of custom attachments that a lot of people like ballistic, which is a gun modder, and a number of other modders. I don't want to call anybody else. But you can add custom attachments, custom optics, custom suppressors, custom lights, lasers, everything you can think of, basically. So that adds that ability.
Chief Alvarez, please call
I'm going to skip
switchboard.
over no right text because it didn't do that much. Switch Illuminator is nice because right now in the game, so if we go into the MK18 I'm currently using, I can choose flashlight, laser, or IR laser, but not both. So if I choose laser, for example, and then come back out, so that Switch Illuminator attachment allows me to use a laser, but I can also use a flashlight. It's kind of nice. And then you can change that to an IR laser. So, super handy, super handy. Especially when I'm playing with groups, tactical groups. The slap charge changes your C2 to have an explosive entry for a door. Instead of actually tearing the entire door down and sending it across the room, it basically just blows a hole on the door. But I'll go ahead and demonstrate that. Go down to the training facility real quick. And well, C2, assuming I actually have one, would be embarrassing. Do I have C2? I do have C2. Let's go on wooden door. So instead of blowing the entire door, it's just going to blow the handle, which still unlocks the door, but doesn't actually kill people behind it. It may stun them, but it's not going to kill them. So that's handy. Alright, let's get back to the list. Drones. Yeah, absolutely. Who doesn't love drones? Got a little DJI drone. Can fly around, see myself. I got a gun floating weirdly. But yeah, you can fly this baby all over the place. Go see the boat out in the garage. Go get in the boat. That's what these people are doing. Sir, sir, sir. Go attach myself to the top of the deal, and then yeah, it's super handy on multiplayer missions. Use in single player too, I suppose, but we use a lot in my tactical groups. Alright, so what else we got? That's like the main ones. Now there's certainly a lot of others, and we're getting into that next. Alright, back at it. Alright, so one of the things that I love most about this game is obviously you go to the menu and you have all these map missions from Home Invasion and Dark Waters, but the best thing about this game is modded missions. You didn't know there was a thing. There's so many modded missions out there, and they're really, really good. And I have a bunch of them. I've seen most of them. So some ones that are out there that are not like really odd or that I can't trust the modder. But yeah, there's a bunch of them. There's some are SWAT 4 related, some are not. Some are training maps. Like this training day map is a training map. Some of these you may recognize, like Raccoon City. We just played that one not that long ago.
Resident Evil.
Yeah. And then, yeah, various maps. Forest House is a good one. Yeah, there's a bunch of these. But yeah, custom maps, definitely worth it. There's quite a few training maps. Detachment Zero Shoot House. There's another one just called Shoot House, I think. That one, yeah. That's Modular Shoot House, which is made by cqghost. But yeah, modern maps, definitely one of the cooler things. The Florida Nights, which is one of my favorites. Florida Day is pretty cool too. But yeah, it's modern maps, definitely one of the better things about the game. Alright, back looking at some customizations. So, I have a lot of uniforms. I kind of play around with different options, but I really like the armor on this. It's got the little LAPD logo. Just looks clean. And you can also change kind of how it looks. You got body cam, got flashbangs, got a tourniquet, scissors, change the belt. There's so many customization options. And you can change, like, not just, that's the one I prefer, but if you want to have a backpack on the back, and you can change all that, right? So I have quite a few, but let's just take a look at a couple. Like here's, obviously I wouldn't wear the night vision patrol, but here's a patrol uniform helmet. Let's just take helmet off, helmet on, off, off, off. I think you actually have to get out first, but yeah. That still looks a little weird. Glued to my head is night vision. But yeah, that's a patrol uniform. That's some goofy looking something. I think you have to do that. And then there's probably something I have in one of these configurations that's got something weird configured. Oh, of course. Wow. Let's see if I can actually get this to work properly. Hey, there we go. That looks correct. Anyways, you can kind of play around with the uniforms and the armor and pants and the belt. It's got its own little Las Vegas belt, and you can kind of see what the options look like. Move stuff around. But yeah, it's just very customizable. There's lots of cool options there. Got multicam. You got FBI HRT one that I play around with. Got plenty of who I'm playing with. You got the retro uniform, like 1999 look. There's just so many cool things you can do. You got the another legacy alpha one. My on-call look. I just got out of the truck, came from my whatever, and here I am in jeans and a t-shirt. But yeah, there's so many customizations. I'm gonna get out of game and show from the Nexus website just how many different options are, and then I'll give some recommendations on what I use. But yeah, you can kind of go anywhere you want with it. Alright, now we are at Nexus Mods, So there's a couple different places you can go for mods. Nexus is the biggest one. It does require an account, and if you don't pay for Nexus, the downloads can be somewhat slow. There's Mod.io, but doesn't have all the updated mods. Here's where we get into a little bit of gripe for me and the community for Ready or Not. Ready or Not could have done this so much better. Why didn't you just use Steam Workshop? Why don't they have dedicated servers where you join and the mod just downloads? Why is it done the way it's done? Because every time they update, from Atom Update to 1.0 to DLC 1 to DLC 2 to all the updates in between, every time they update, they break mods, and then you lose like some of the mods that were there that were good. And so, modders are going to abandon the community at some point. If they have an SDK, that would be great, but they don't. And so we get in this cycle of the update, then we have to fix all the mods, then we lose a couple mods in the beginning because, some people aren't playing actively in the community and only update mods. But anyways, let's get into it. Alright, so as we talked about in the video in game, here's the simple mod menu in Blueprint Loader. Updated, and it basically is just a pack file. It goes in your Ready or Not content packs like any other mod in Ready or Not. That's definitely important. Alright, so Gunfighter, I was wrong. It's Gunfighter 5. So many different versions, but yeah. So if we look at the options on Gunfighter, you have an all-in-one, which includes everything except flashlight. Basic is basically as you're going in a door, or if you're like in a threshold, you have compression short stocking, so your gun doesn't come up as much. Still will do it if you're like facing right there, but it's better than it is in default vanilla. Definitely some recoil control and some centering, after the fact. The recoil is a huge one, I think. There's also a separate NVG gunfighter that helps with gating, bloom, auto gating. This is like the big one, 25 slots. By default, it's 11 or 13, depending on what armor you're wearing. But 25 unless you're wearing stab, I think. I could be wrong, but yeah, I think basically every. If you're wearing stab, it's fine, but if you're wearing no armor, you still get the default. This is what I was talking about in game, but the lower than axis of ADS state, so you have better vision. And then, yeah, all kinds of cool things. That's 9 bangers in the game. Removes the yelling animation, which is part of animation changes. Changes the animation, or replaces the animation for a couple things. Increases the movement speed. And you can choose to grab all of these or one of, some of these. Ballistic, which changes stopping power, deceleration, a whole bunch of things. You can read about all this. Alright, let's continue. So there's our drone. The DJI Mini4K Drone, which is actually what SWAT uses. And that's a little picture of it. Now, key thing to note, if you are the host, you are the only one who can control the drone. So not anybody in a multiplayer land can. Also, if you're the host, but nobody else has the mod, they won't be able to see it. Which is kind of key. So, the drone's up here, you can get a flashlight. Kind of cool, Jim. I like it. It's worked really well. I have some videos on it in use. This is an item asset loader to be able to load assets that are not in the game, which is super nice. Alright, so here's doing some mods that are not like necessary, but I'm a fan. Visceral Blood. This one makes blood more realistic. And that definitely looks pretty realistic. So yeah, it just makes it more realistic, more, yeah. It definitely, yeah, it gives the option for like shotgun hits to actually decapitate stuff. So yeah, very cool. Cosmetic fix is a minor thing, but it fixes clipping a whole bunch of whole things. And then kind of same deal, Better Vest Remastered adds a bunch of things. There's an add-on for it called the Leo add-on, which is amazing. See if we can find a picture of one that's like, it has so many different configurations to vests. And it adds, like there's, I can't tell you how many pictures are in here, but whatever vest you want. Now, of course, if you want to add vests, there's a bunch of them in here too. There's a Shaw vest, which now is in the game. There's just a ton of vests in here. Let's see, let's look at one of these outfits. There's tons of outfits in here. To, the normal, like, hey, there's a regional task force. To, hey, if you like anime, I don't know what the hell any of these things are, but they're there for the people. This one looks really cool. I actually have it up here. I've not tested this, but like a name tag on the back of the helmet. They added that in DLC 2 or a patch for it, but it's broken half the time, doesn't work on all the mod plate carriers. This is actually something that Official Invictus uses. A version of it. He's got a modded version, but yeah, it's like the full, SWAT uniform. Blue uniform. Looks cool. If you want to be a sheriff, you can be a sheriff. I use this with another group. You can also change the sheriff on the thing. But yeah, this looks really professionally done. So, if you want to be a patrol officer, Yeah, it looks good. Choose a hat, you can have no hat, you can do pistol, shotgun, get your little vest, get your body cam. It's so many customization options. This one's actually new, I think. I haven't checked this one out, but yeah. Alright. Then we get into the guns, right? There's so many different guns in here. It's kind of ridiculous. So, you kind of have to look around and find what you want. I think that MK18 is in here. I found which one it is. I think it's that one. I don't remember. You gotta look at the dates. Is it that one? Could be that one. That one, yeah, I think that's it. The one that doesn't have a flip-up sight on it. It's folded down. The other ones have like that fixed sight, which is just not very good, I don't think. That's definitely not it. You gotta pay attention to the dates. Like if I just pick one, a random, 2023. Anything that's gonna be older is not gonna work. If it's not December 2024 or later, probably it's not gonna work. You got some pretty cool reworks on like attachments. I mean, there's just a ridiculous amount of stuff you can do. Yeah, got full on crazy. Yeah, it's just really cool to get into. Clone correct. Yeah, just all kinds of interesting ads. Again, you just gotta be careful about the date. And then we get into AI. So just look for AI in here. there's a bunch of AI mods. I've tried like a ton of them. This is my favorite. This is from Happy Factory. It's not my only one I use, but it's definitely one of the major ones. Let's see, that one. It's going to be a type of mod, AI modification. So if we look at that, and like, is there a popularity one? Nope. Unique downloads? Yeah, there you go. I think his is pretty popular. No Crack is pretty decent. Astrals is pretty good. I guess maybe it's not updated, or maybe there's a different one. Jags is pretty decent. Crozzies I've played with, but I don't think it's been updated in a while. There's a ton of them, and they come out all the time. But yeah, I think consistently, this one, the Ready or Not one, it's got so many different options, like all the multiplayer versions, all the single player versions. But yeah, it's called Ready or Not, Here I Come. Yeah, realistic mod pack. I think that's all the mods, but if you have any questions about anyone, put it in the comments and I'll try to answer it. But yeah, Ready or Not mods.